My name is Shannon Egan. I'm the director of the Schmucker Art Gallery and here to talk about Martin Puryear's sculpture entitled Sentinel that was built in 1982. The sculpture was commissioned by the college to celebrate the college's sesquicentennial anniversary in 1982. Martin Puryear is one of the most prominent, successful, and well-respected modernist sculptors to date. In 1941, he was born in Washington, D.C. He received a MacArthur Genius Foundation fellowship and received other amazing prominent prizes, including the Brazil Sao Paulo Biennial Prize in 1989. He is collected in most of the major museums in the world, and recently he had a major retrospective at the Museum of Modern Art in New York City and the National Gallery of Art in Washington, D.C. His style is considered both modernist and minimalist. He spent 2 years in the Peace Corps and was influenced by the African craftsmen that he saw working in Africa. He also spent some time in Scandinavia and was influenced by the Scandinavian furniture makers. And ultimately, throughout all of the influences, he's interested in the intrinsic quality of the materials and craftsmanship. The piece behind me, Sentinel, was a departure for Puryear in terms of medium at this point in his career. The stones were excavated on site from the foundation of a former campus building called Linnaean Hall. And the stones are all local from different quarries that had been used for barns and houses in rural Pennsylvania, as well as from ruined walls and dug out of fields. And the stones include sandstone, shale, gray granite, and black limestone. The overall shape itself is an organic form suggestive of a rock worn by sand and weather. But the piece itself has held up remarkably well since 1982 because these materials are naturally weather resistant. As you pass it, the piece goes from being tall and slender to expanding and being twice that size. And Puryear liked this spot because it has extremely good vantage points. He also liked this site because it wasn't too close to any one building, so it doesn't serve as kind of punctuation or an appendage to any of the buildings around it. So the beauty of the form is in its organic shape. It looks kind of like a whale fin. It looks like a man-made structure that's suggestive of an ancient relic or a pillar or a kind of architectural form. As he was building it, he thought a lot about scale. The scale is really determined by human scale. The walls are 12 inches thick. The height is about 10.5 feet tall, which is, larger, a bit larger than human scale. But when you get outdoors, you need a larger presence, otherwise it'll be dwarfed by the other buildings. The sculpture rests on a bedrock of slate about 2 feet beneath the ground. The particular stones were chosen for their size in order to fit into the particular molds. This was his first attempt at laying stones, and so he was essentially teaching himself how to do it. A local stonemason who had been laying stones in the area since 1949 came over to Martin Puryear as part of while he was, building it. And the stonemason said that Martin Puryear was doing a really great job, and Puryear considered this to be one of the highest compliments that he had received. Puryear likes to emphasize the intrinsic qualities of the material, so that you can really get a sense of the material of the stone, that the overall presence looks like some of the old stone buildings that you see in rural Pennsylvania in the region. In 2002, the piece was estimated to be about $850,000. So this is a very valuable work of art financially, as well as culturally, and we're we should be proud to have this piece as part of the Gettysburg College campus.